here in the United States, what candidates need to have done in terms of their experience, what they need to say, the things that would normally disqualify them, everything's topsy-turvy. We've entered the land of the kooks. And so I thought, we've got David on. I am assuming that things haven't devolved quite so far in Canada when it comes to what you can get away with. But I wanted to give people updates on last night's primaries, some of the candidates who won despite things that should be immediately disqualifying, and one who didn't. There's a bit of good news buried here. We're gonna start though with Max Miller. Now Max Miller won his primary handily, 71.8% of the vote. Apparently Republicans, they're big fans of him despite the fact that he, as so many Republicans these days are, is facing allegations of domestic abuse. Stephanie Grisham, by the way, like at one point, a beloved part of the right is the one making the accusations, David, but it doesn't seem to have bothered people, 72%. And that might be an early warning sign, as I talked about last night on our coverage, that there's a ton of other, I'm blanking now on candidate Walker, former football player, Herschel Walker, and others. And so it's not looking like domestic abuse and things like that are gonna be an issue for Republican voters. What do you think?
No, at this point, the only thing that's going to hurt Republican candidates is if they are wonderful people and actually care about others. I mean, that's all, like if it comes out that, oh, this person actually, they care for people. They helped, somebody was wounded and they brought them in. Somebody was homeless and they gave them food. Oh, we can't have this guy. Got to have somebody else. Like it is absolutely disgusting to see what it's come to, and that what is valued in the Republican Party is hatred, is your willingness to hate others simply for who they are. That is what is valued. Your apparent now abuse of others, that's also valued, or they don't care about that at all. As long as you are saying the right things in terms of how they view politics, just through the lens of the culture war, as long as you are for white people and against everybody else, then you are valued in the party, and it is absolutely disgusting.
Exactly, yeah. Max Miller would beat Jesus in a landslide in one of these Republican primaries. Now another candidate who won, who apparently went to DC for the insurrection, lied about it, and then it turned out we realized he was lying when the photo evidence of him at the actual insurrection came out. He's a guy who's worn a QAnon shirt, he's used QAnon catchphrases in his social media and everything, so that's fun and exciting. But there was one candidate who we talked about a while back on the show, thankfully didn't win. So this is Robert R.J. Regan, who lost to Democrat Carol Glanville. This is the 74th Michigan House District. And if you don't recall, Robert R.J. Regan, he's a guy that at one point said, that's kind of like having 3 daughters. And I tell my daughters, well, if rape is inevitable, you should just lie back and enjoy it. That's not how we roll. That's not how I won this election. He later attempted to walk back the comments saying, you would never say something like that to a woman. I have 3 daughters, and I would never say that if rape is inevitable, you should just lie back and enjoy it. I mean, that's horrible. Nobody agrees with that. Good, you did say it though. And interestingly, I didn't even know this at the time that we did that story initially. 2 years prior to those remarks, which happened earlier this year, one of his daughters, Stephanie, encouraged voters not to elect her father, saying, if you're in Michigan and 18 plus, please, for the love of God, do not vote for my dad for state rep. Tell everyone. So yeah, I think that the thing about the daughters is probably understandably a sore spot because he's a massive weirdo and creep.
Yeah, if your kids are saying don't vote for you, if your relatives are saying, yeah, this guy is terrible, yeah, they know him best.
Yeah.
Listen. So, I guess, there's a bar somewhere, maybe.
Exactly. At least he lost. So maybe at the state level, we can still get some sanity.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.